All right, tax codes change every year, and this season's no exception. There are some provisions that shift along with changes in inflation, like rates for different tax brackets, certain deductions and credits, and retirement saving. But there's more. Let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger now to talk about what's new and how we can tackle this. Help us understand these new tax brackets, how they've shifted, and what it means for people who are getting ready to do their taxes.
First of all, take a deep breath. Not much is actually changing. As you said, every year the IRS adjusts the income levels on which tax rates are levied. So, it says like you get a certain amount of tax rate applied to a certain amount of income. So let's look at this. You got 10%, 12%, 22, 24, 32, 35, 37%. But, you can see there's a certain amount of tax that is applied to each tranche of income. And so when people say, oh, I'm in the top tax bracket, it's not as if you pay that tax for the entire amount of money you make.
Yes.
It's just on those levels. So what you need to know is those tax rates have not changed. The income on which it is those rates are applied, those have expanded. So, listen, it's good news because you'll have a higher level at certain rates, but no big changes for this year. Those rates are still the same.
Now, for most people watching, the standard deduction is enough. That there's a smaller percentage of people who actually itemize their taxes. How have then the standard deductions amounts changed for this year?
So this is about inflation adjustments. So a standard deduction versus itemized deduction. The standard deduction gives you one lump sum amount. So when you're filing your taxes this year and you're a single filer, you're going to say, hey, $14,600 is the amount of money that I will be able to claim off the top. It sort of just wipes that amount of money down, and now your tax bracket drops. It's 2 times that when you are looking at married filing jointly. But a thing that's very important about itemized versus standard, it's not that one is better than the other, okay? It is simply that if you have enough items that qualify for itemizing, you tally those up, and then you have to then file all those pieces of information. So I don't want anyone to think like, oh, it's a bummer, I'm only filing the standard deduction. It's just actually a ton easier for you. And right now, because the standard deduction amount has gone up since the tax law change in 2018, Errol, it's about 90% of taxpayers who are using that standard deduction. And by the way, it's a lot easier to file if you're claiming the standard deduction rather than itemizing.
Yeah, exponentially easier. And one of my favorite things you say is you don't want a big refund because that could have been money that you put in a high yield savings account all year. Jill, always with the great advice. Thanks for joining us this morning. Great to see you.